a barrel roll.
Yeah, that joke's been used far too much. Back in the days of Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo partnered with a company called Argonaut to develop a prototype of a flight game. They later ported this to the Super Nintendo and tested the power with a new version of this said prototype. They based this off of Starglider, which was an earlier game by Argonaut. One programmer then made the claim that in order for the game to reach its maximum potential, they would need to develop better hardware specifically for that, and thus the Super FX chip was born. This was essentially the first 3D graphics accelerator that was in a product available to the public. The designers actually joked about the Super Nintendo basically just being a box to hold the chip since it was that much more powerful. And if you've played the original Star Fox, you know the Super FX chip was a god among mere mortals in terms of processing. Shigeru Miyamoto took a hold of the biggest portion of game design on the project because, let's be honest, 90% of the great things Nintendo has done has this guy involved in them somehow. Takeya Inamura was in charge of the character design, and Miyamoto suggested using animals since he did not really want to design a game around generic scientific humans. He wanted to go with the fox as the lead since he was basing some of the gameplay off of the shrine, Fushimi Inarataishi. Oh god, I probably botched that really bad. Inamura then proceeded to add other characters based off of Japanese folklore. These included a bird and a rabbit, hare, rabbit, who really cares? Interestingly enough, a toad was added as a main character because a member of the development team used a toad as his personal mascot. And we all loved that decision, didn't we? The decision to base the Cornerian army off of dogs and Andros as a monkey is based on the old Japanese expression, fighting like dogs and monkeys. There you go, there's my worldly history lesson for you guys today. Now, nearing the game's completion, Miyamoto was really interested in the idea of using puppets for promotional artwork. This idea stemmed from a British science fiction series by the name of Thunderbirds. He then proceeded to craft the puppets and photograph them for the cover art of Star Fox. Gosh. Is there anything Miyamoto can't do? Star Fox released in 1993 for the Super Nintendo and was met with critical praise. It is known as the franchise that helped pioneer 3D game graphics and received many different awards. Instantly, a sequel was in development, but then eventually got canceled due to the oncoming release of the Nintendo 64, and they wanted this franchise to have the most up-to-date technology for it. Actually, there was also a Star Fox game in development for the Virtual Boy as well, but you can all guess why they canceled that version of the game. Also, for the people who comment this, because there will be people who act as if I don't know. Star Fox was released under the title of Starwing in Europe, and then when Star Fox 64 came out, it was called Lilac Wars. There. Are we all happy? We all apparently found something out today. Moving on. Star Fox 64 was in development for a few years and took much of its ideas and designs from the unreleased Star Fox 2. Things like All Range mode, Star Wolf, and the multiplayer mode all originated from that said game. It was basically a reboot of the series because now they had the technology to fully realize Miyamoto's vision for this franchise, and actually the talking animations of the characters is shoddy for a reason, as Miyamoto once again loved his puppets. It cut down on the animation time for it, and I must say, I love how cheesy it looks. This is where many people, including myself, think the series hit a bit of a dry spell. Now, because I've already touched on this topic in my Nintendo history over Rare, please watch that if you haven't already. I'll have my pal Gilly the Squid, Kid, quickly summarize.
Hey everyone, Gilly here with a brief summary over Starfox Adventures. Nintendo didn't know what to do with the franchise. Rare had been working on a new IP called Dinosaur Planet. Miyamoto thought the main character looked like Fox, and so they rebranded it into a Star Fox game. It's a 3D action adventure title with gameplay similar to Zelda. Reviewers thought it was a good game, but just not a Star Fox game. That's all.
The series then would go on to have games that went on to receive mixed reviews, and you'll have to wait to hear more until next time on Nintendo History. And make sure to barrel roll over to that subscribe button while you're at it.
Jacob, please stop. You're not funny.
Aw.